Hello there, computer science fans. Today we're going to be talking about Gantt charts. Here's the Wikipedia entry for Gantt charts. Essentially, Gantt chart looks like this thing on the right, and it's used early on in the system development life cycle to sort of state start times and end times and predictions about how long each of a list of tasks will take, and it's used to help manage a project, or you know, and hopefully you've got, and you don't have to take this down, but you just put that in your back of your brain that the Gantt chart is named after a guy, Henry Gantt, and is used to organize the timelines for a project. Hopefully you've got a copy of this file. This is a Google Docs file, but if you have it in a Word, not a word processor, but a different spreadsheet, that's probably fine. Google Docs will work just fine. This video is going to show us just how to create one. So we've got this is a software development project of some sort, and we've got the duration in days of each of these tasks. And the prerequisite task, what we mean is before this one can start, before this task can start, what task needs to be done. And this would be something that, you know, if we were working on a project that we would have to come up with. Today, for the most part, we just want to get used to this idea of making Gantt charts, and I'll show you two ways. One using Google Spreadsheet itself, and one using a an actual Gantt chart maker. And there are a bunch of uh, little free um, pieces of software you can download to make Gantt charts, but we'll see. The Google Docs one is just fine. Um, it's a little bit simple, but simple looking, but it'll work just fine too. So let's get into it. Here's the list of tasks, and they're going to be different for each project. So this was something, this is just an example. The first task, research, it's going to take 10 days to do the research, and there's no task that has to be done before that. So the earliest start time in days would be 0. It would be right away. The problem definition, whatever that might entail, is going to take 12 days, but it has to be, task A has to be done. So when's the earliest time we could start task B? Well, A has to be done, so after 10 days. And I'm going to have to go through here and figure out in my mind what the earliest start times for each of these tasks are. And that's going to be just a little task that you have to do in the Google Docs version of a Gantt chart. So let's see if we can speed through this here. The third task, hardware design. Well, B has to be done. Well, B takes 12 days, but that's already 10 days in. So when's the earliest time that this task could start? It's going to be, well, it started after 10 days and took 12 days. That's 22 days, right? So I'm going to put in, and if you're having trouble doing the arithmetic yourself, remember you've got a Google spreadsheet here. It could do it for you. It's going to just change that to 22, I hope. Yep, there it goes. And on we go. So planning, which was going to take 21 days, has to be after task C is done. Well, task C didn't get started until day 22 and took 14 days, so that means planning can get started after 36 days. 22 plus 14, right? 36 days. Good. Now notice that sometimes we can get thrown a little bit of a curveball that this isn't like our programs. This would be a big company producing a new piece of software, that sometimes there's more than one people or even more than one team that's working on a task. So for instance, the planning can start happening after the hardware design, but the personnel can also be happening after the hardware design. So it's like these two tasks can happen at the same time. Well, what's nice about this chart is, if as long as we just follow along the process, it's going to work itself out. So this says I can start task E after C is done. Well, C here started after 22 and took 14. That means E can also start after 36 days. And we'll see once we get to the chart itself what that looks like. Okay, let's just keep going now. The detailed design can happen after task D, which is the planning. It started after 36 and took 21 days. Started after 36 and took 21 days. That's 36 and 21, 57 days. That's when the detailed design can start. Oh, and here we have another task that's dependent on C. So here, C could start after 22 days and took 14 days. There's another 36 that goes in there. Software development could start after F. And why were they in this order? Well, who knows? It doesn't really matter as long as we know all the tasks that have to be done before they start. So software development had to be after the detailed design, which that kind of makes sense. Detailed design, task F, started after 57 and took 12. That's 57 and 12, 69 days into the project until software development, the code writing actually starts. And it's going to take 35 days, but we're not worrying about that 35 yet. It'll come up soon. The external documentation, according to this, can start as soon as the hardware has been purchased. So external documentation would be manual writing and help files and all that business. And it can be started, according to this project, after that finishes, after task G finishes. So task G can start after day 36 and take 7 days, 43. The test plan development can begin after F, after the detailed design is done. So 57, day 57, and takes 12. There's another 69 that goes in there. Say, well, Rusto, where's the 7 come in? Well, remember, the 7 comes in after that task has been finished. For instance, right here, the testing can't start until the test plan development is done, which makes sense. And the test plan development starts after day 69 and is 7 days. 69 plus 7, 76. And then hopefully you're getting the idea here. Product delivery can't be done until the testing's done, which starts after day 76, and the testing took 21 days. That's 97 days there. And then the user training can't be done until the product's been delivered, which started after day 97 and took 14 days. Took 14 days. That's 97. Math's starting to get hard, so I'm going to use the spreadsheet again. 111 days. And then, so this last task, user training, started after 111 days and took 114, or sorry, took 14 days. So that's 125 days in total. That's to being done. That's the thing. The whole thing is done then. Okay, this is, it seems like a lot of work, but actually after this, the making the chart itself is pretty easy. So what? Watch closely. Paste that in there. I copy the duration things, and I'm gonna paste them in there. Control C and Control P, and then I'm going to select. I'm gonna get that done out of there actually, and I'm gonna select these two columns, and then I'm gonna go Insert Chart, Insert Chart, and it's gonna ask me which one I want, and I'm gonna want this one. But I like it to be sideways. So I wonder if I can make it sideways. Right there. This one right there, that's the one I want. And then I'm going to say customization. I could probably add all the titles and stuff like that I wanted to. This is going to be Gantt chart. And if you didn't get all this in this time, then we can go back and finish this, like customize it later. The important thing, see, the Gantt chart, as we saw from is kind of just, there's nothing here. So what we need to do is get rid of the blue, So you see I've just selected on there, and then I think I can right click, and I might be able to just delete. Let me see if I can just delete. Or just, you see it's blue, I could make it white. This is a Gantt chart. I should have, it would be nice if I had all of the task names A, B, C, D, E along this side, because this is task A, this is task B, this is task C. Down here it should be day number, and then I can see how long it's going to take for my project to start. And notice those ones that can be happening at the same time, well, they have the same start day. This task, and this task can all be happening at the same time. Notice that this picture, then I can put into an analysis document that for my software development lifecycle, or put it wherever I want to. And I should add the edit horizontal axis labels. I could change that so it has a title down there, and it would be, like I said, it would be nice to have the task letters along the side, but I'm not too worried about that. There's the Gantt chart. In part 2 of the video, I'll show you how to use the Gantt chart maker to do the same thing. That's part 2.